So you got your running shoes on, now what? You just get out of home and start running? Well, no, not for me, and I'll tell you why. Over the years, I've been fine-tuning a no-nonsense, super easy, gentle warm-up and mobility routine that I do every day before I start running. I brought it to a bare minimum, like 5, 6, 7 minutes, but I'm sure you don't want a routine that looks daunting, especially if, like me, you're over 50. You don't want to spend 20 minutes on a routine that is super complex and tiring and that will kill you before you even start running. Now this doesn't require any piece of equipment. It doesn't require a lot of space either. In fact, as you can see, I'm very short on space here. So we sort of go from bottom to top, starting with the ankles, Achilles tendons and calves. Stretching my Achilles now, calves, raise ups, and then we'll continue with 8 or 10 knee lifts. Now roll the ankles. 10 knee lifts on each side to wake up your psoas, which is the muscles that cross this spot here and attach to your spine. So we can start lubricating those joints, especially the knee joints here on the other side. You might have heard YouTubers tell you that you should first go for a 2, 3, 4 kilometer jog for warm-up and then do their dynamic mobility routine. Now to me this makes absolutely no sense for many reasons. Next up we've got 10, let's call it vertical leg lift on each side, mostly to wake up the hamstrings, which is this muscle here, and to continue working on the psoas and the knee joints. So it's like lifting the knee vertically to sort of kick your butt, but it's not a butt kick, it's more vertical. So yeah, in fact yesterday I did what these YouTubers say. I went on directly from home for a short easy run because there was an imminent heavy rain forecast, so I didn't want to lose time. And I can tell you the first 3 kilometers of my run were feeling really crap and sluggish, so perhaps 1 minute slower than my usual runs. So in fact I'd rather spend 5 minutes at home warming up than feeling crap and sluggish for the first 20 minutes of my run. Okay, now we do like 10 or 15 sort of running pushback sort of movement like this, trying to mimic what happens during running. So lift the knee, then down like treading the ground, sort of a bit of scratching the ground backwards, then focus on bringing the leg rather far behind as far as you can, but don't go crazy. It's not we're not gymnasts, we're not trying to stretch to the maximum, and then somehow the movement has to collect your leg, so you need to lift your leg up, so I reduce the lever here and it's easier to bring your leg forward again and up, and then repeat. So 10-15 of those. This exercise is to wake up your glutes and get some mobility and stretching of the psoas again as you bring the leg backward, and at the same time work on the neuromuscular connection to help a good running stride. Let's do the other side, trying to focus on bringing the leg far behind. So I find also that if I do it in the reverse order, like warm up or go for a jog first and then do the mobility routine, and I actually don't feel like doing it. I mean, after running for 2, 3, 4 kilometers, I don't feel like stopping and doing this routine out there and then continue running. I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the right timing. So the purpose of this routine is not to stretch like crazy. We're not gymnasts again. It's also not to work on strength. The purpose is really to only lubricate the joints and wake up the muscles, tendons and tissues. You should not feel tired at all. Your heart rate should not raise substantially. Okay, let's move on. And we've got the typical leg swing. Make sure there's nothing behind. That you've probably seen from many other YouTubers. This is, it kind of looks nice on screen. But now watch out, don't go crazy about it. It makes no sense to try and reach out like super high in front, like I don't want to hurt myself. Makes no sense at all. In fact, that's not the point. And it's really not the way we run. I mean, we're not running like that, except perhaps if you're a sprinter, but that's not the case, especially after 50. However, it's interesting to try and reach out behind as far as you can, because that's often a limitation. Your psoas here are often tight after 50 years of sitting. So that's often a limitation. So just try to reach behind, but it's not stretching like mad again. You might want to stretch your psoas in a separate session, but not now. All right, on the other side. So keep it dynamic. This is not yoga, it's not Pilates. It's just to lubricate the hips joints in this case. So if you're a little bit self-conscious, I don't know, it kind of feels safer to do this routine in the comfort of your home rather than outside where people can see you and might think you're a weirdo. Now personally I really don't care about that, but I understand some people do. Alright, so similarly we do sideways leg swings to work on the joints in the sort of perpendicular plane. Generally this feels good, quite satisfying, but again it's just to lubricate the joints. Don't try to go super high on either side, it makes no sense. And also you can easily hurt yourself, you can easily tear your muscles, especially the inner muscles here, so be careful. All right, the other side. And finally, in terms of motivation, if you're gonna find yourself procrastinating about going out or not, well, and just do this mobility routine after you put your shoes on. It's super easy, and when you're done 5 minutes later, you'll feel much more stimulated to get out. You'll feel like, well, okay, now the natural thing to do now is to just go out and run. Okay, so now we've mobilized the hips in the front back plane and the lateral plane. So now we can do rotation. So this is like a circular motion. It will wake up other glute muscles like glute med, the core, and all the muscles involved in the rotation and the stabilization of the leg. So we do like 4 circular movements like this, opening the leg, then another 4 where when you get to this position, move back and then collect down. So up, side, back, down, up, side, back, down, up, side, back, down, and then the same thing, reverse, back, side, front, down, back, side, front, down, back, side, front, down. 3 or 4 times, that's it. Same thing on the other side. Nothing crazy, should not feel difficult or tiring. As you can see, I have a bit more mobility on my right side than left side. That's okay, we're not symmetrical. Right, enough for the hips. So now let's move on with some squats. Let's say 10 squats to continue working on the knee joints, warm up and wake up the glutes. I'm doing this with no weight, so it's very easy. Of course I can do squats with a lot more weight, but that's not the point. If you feel like it, you can do deep squats, like going really low or not. Doesn't really make a difference. We are not running with this deep squatting situation, so that's okay. We're not trying to generate a lot of power, like we're not jumping. That's too early for that. We are not warmed up yet. Okay, that's done. Then I'll do some I don't know how this is called, split squats perhaps. I don't have a lot of space here, so I do like 3 or 4 and then turn back. So lift the leg, lift the knee a little bit and step behind, and that should work on the quad here. And try to, let me show on the other leg, try to stretch the quad on the other side. Now if you are really short on space and you really have no space, you can do it like in place like this. All right, next up, I want to lubricate further the knee joints because I used to suffer from the knees in the past. So yeah, let's do this kind of rolling movement, a little bit sexy movement here. One direction and the other. Yeah, not too much, that's it. A little bit more sexy movement here again, lubricating the hips, one side, other side. You can do round movement, or you can do like 8 kind of movement. Yeah, have a bit of fun. That's it. Then the hips and the lateral tissues on the side of your body. Stretch on one side and the other. Repeat a couple of times. That's it. Nothing difficult. Just to wake up your body in general. Rotate your spine a little bit. Already my body starts to feel awake and we're reaching the end of it. Now a little bit the shoulders. So grab your wrist with the opposite hand and bring it over your head and stretch like this, so it will stretch the side of your upper body. A couple of times. That's it. And we're almost done. I like to finish by doing some kind of fan here, some rotation of my shoulder. This is perhaps optional, but I found when I filmed myself running fast from behind, I found that I was not symmetrical, that my arm swing, let's say my arm swing on the right hand was okay in the front to back plane, but when I was running fast, my left shoulder, my left hand was very tight, and I was running like this. So I thought, well, perhaps this comes from the times when I used to play tennis. So I've got a lot more mobility on my right shoulder because of the serve, and not so much so on the left one. So I thought, yeah, I should work on that. So that's why I do this as part of my warm-up and mobility routine. Try to open up as much as possible here on the left shoulder. But that's it. And really, we're done now. Now I feel like I really want to go running. So get out of the door. All right, so at this point you could start jogging, but actually I like to do 2-3 minutes of easy drills before I start. That's literally from here to the end of the street there. So it's perhaps 200-250 meters, like 300 yards maybe, for those of you that use these metrics. So I'm not going to explain the running drills today, that's not the purpose. In fact, I will do a dedicated video on running drills because there's a lot to say, and I believe a lot of nonsense out there. So I hope you enjoyed this little warm-up routine. I hope you found it useful. Let me know if you have any doubt. Tell me what you do for warm-up. I'm interested. Yeah, please subscribe, and in the meantime, if you run around, remember to look around. See you in the next one.